Welcome back to the Nitty Gritty. I'm your host, Allicea.
And I'm Ash, and we're finally back after a much needed break. Thank you so much for being so patient with us while we figured some stuff out.
Yes, thank you. We really appreciate your patience with us and for still engaging with us on our social media and commenting and sending us replies and DMs. We love to see it. Please keep doing it. As you can see, we are not in the studio.
And
We
the
are
stew.
in the stew. We are not in the stew. That's actually our studio that we get from school to Moo. But school's out. It's summertime, shawties, and we don't have access to that room anymore. So Ash and I will be recording from the comforts of our own home stew, also known as
Our
our
bedrooms.
messy desks in our bedrooms. So we're going to be taking an online format with our podcast for the summer. If you have any feedback or suggestions while we're online, we'd love to see it. Send us a DM. Let us know.
Exactly. We're new to this online kind of format. So let us know if something like really sucks and we'll
Yeah,
fix it for you guys.
we'll try our best. We're not in person, but we'll try.
All right. So this past weekend was the Azerbaijan Baku Grand Prix. Oh my gosh, I can't
That was a
speak.
mouthful.
And honestly, the race was kind of boring. I'm not gonna lie. But I feel like a lot more happened outside of the paddock.
We're just coming out of a long no race break. So there's a lot of pop culture Formula One things going on at that time. So we have a few of our favorites that we'd like to get started with.
So I want to start off with the elephant in the room. Fernando
There's
Alonso and
multiple.
Taylor Swift.
Okay.
Fernando Alonso and Taylor Swift.
Ash and I, we're both Aston Martin fans. We're both Swifties. So I personally, I ate it up. I enjoyed it. If you asked me what was on my F1 bingo card at the beginning of the season, this didn't even come in my head. This was not on the paper at all.
Honestly, I agree. I feel like that was so random, and maybe it has to do with a lot of Swifties becoming F1 fans. So it's kind of like a rumor that started that's kind of funny. But at the end of the day, it's funny. And Taylor hasn't said anything about it, but Alonso's kind of been like playing along. Honestly, any PR is good PR, to be honest, and it's
Yeah.
been really funny. So I think he's just kind of playing along. Like there was that video of the commentators literally like
Oh my God.
swiftly, oh, he's a blank space.
Yeah, it was so good. I loved that. They know how to work it. They do. They
I
did
just
their
think
research.
they did their research. They're definitely capitalizing on it. I do think it is obviously false because the source is de moi. So I don't trust it, but it would be cool. It would be fun. I just
Isn't she
can't.
rumored to be dating what's his face from?
Matthew Healy.
Yeah.
So
Ugh.
I don't know. I
I'd
don't
rather
know.
have it be Alonso, but um
Um, our next pop culture moment is Charles.
I only listen to indie underground, never heard of artists before. You probably haven't heard of him.
Yeah.
Charles Leclerc.
Charles Leclerc. Charles.
Charles Leclerc.
I don't know if you ever heard of him.
Yeah, he's pretty indie. He's pretty underground.
Yeah, I'm just like not like other girls, and I just don't listen to that mainstream stuff. Actually, this is mainstream
It
because
charted.
Oz 23 charted on iTunes at number 6. I'm sorry. I saw someone joke about how he's higher in the iTunes charts than he is in the championship. And that hurt a little.
That's actually what do you think costs more? Tickets to see him perform his music live or tickets to a Grand Prix?
Tickets to a Grand Prix. I'm sorry. I think that actually costs a kidney.
Uh,
And this is
but
why Aston Martin should invite us.
get back to us again.
But he is releasing a new song that he announced a few days ago or recently.
Mm.
For Miami. You can pre-save it. It's crazy.
Please drop tour dates, just not on Ticketmaster. We don't want it there,
Not
Charles.
Ticketmaster. He was like, a Ferrari might not work out, so I'm gonna get a part-time job as a musician, as a composer,
As a composer.
and that's his backup plan.
He said High School Musical, Camp Rock.
He
all
said,
of
"This
these.
isn't my dream, Dad. It's yours."
Exactly.
Um, Yeah, I'm really excited to hear the new song after this weekend. I wonder when he's gonna release it and if it's gonna be like a whole plan to like how like a whole like PR thing.
Oh my goodness. I'd
Wait,
still listen. I'd still stream. I'd
wait
give him the
till
money.
he starts making music videos.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Wait. Do you think it's gonna be like him in a thirst trap, but then it's like the piano music in the background?
Honestly, I think he's trying to win Thirsty Thursday, so maybe
Maybe.
he will be. Okay, the next thing I want to mention is Daniel MF Ricardo. I did
Danny
not
Rick.
I heard the rumors. I did not believe them. I was like, if anyone's gonna go to the Met Gala, it's gonna be Lewis Hamilton because he's been.
Yeah.
Daniel Ricardo at his first Met Gala wearing Tom Brown.
Yeah.
The picture of him and Jenna Ortega together actually and Olivia Rodrigo actually like did something to my brain. I never would have pictured those people in the same room.
It's I keep seeing edits. I did you see the one of oh my god. What's the Princess of Genovia?
Oh my gosh, Anne Hathaway.
Yeah, I was like Anna Kendrick for some reason. Sorry. I Prince Star is my
Such
favorite
a
movie.
mess.
Please. Please don't, guys, don't stone me. Please, please, please. I'm
I'm
really
sorry, you couldn't remember her name, but you remember that she's a princess of Genovia. You're actually so iconic for that.
because she's the Princess of Genovia.
She's actually the queen of Genovia.
Oh yeah, because then she, yes, of course, of course, of course, of course. Enemies to Lover was born from that second movie. Thank you very much. But anywho, don't hate me, please, please. Okay, I'm so nervous. Oh my god, and she was like, "Oh my god, Daniel Ricciardo," and she went up, shook his hand. I'm like, "What is this crossover in my
Oh my
brain?"
gosh. She
Crazy.
approached him. He did
Yeah,
not approach her. He was watching her from afar, smiling, happy to be there. And also, off topic, she looked great.
she was probably one of my favorite looks
It
from.
was like Chanel and Versace all at once. I was like shocked at how they did that. Anyways, not trying to get into a little fashion rundown. That's not what the podcast is for.
Do I wish Danny pulled up to the Met riding a horse? I mean, yeah, we know he knows how to do it. Maybe a little cowboy hat, but I'm hoping but this better not be like a one-time thing. I need Danny at every single other Met Gala because I know he can do something big. I feel like he can pull off anything. I feel like you can put him in something bigger than a black suit and he'll kill it. He has it. I know he can.
I agree. I agree. And I want to see more F1 drivers at the Met Gala.
So who do
is
you
your
think? Yeah, that was one of my questions. Yeah.
um I don't know. Lewis is already gone, so it's kind of like I've already
Whatever.
seen it.
Skip.
I want like Charles, obviously,
Charles
big
would
fave.
kill.
I was surprised that Lance Stroll hasn't been to the Met Gala because Lawrence Stroll has been the co-chair of the Met Gala twice.
Oh. Lance, where you at? Lance at the Met Gala? Lance, you better not wear just a black suit and white
Honestly,
cashmere.
I'm so sorry. I love Lance, but he has no fashion sense, so he would just wear a black suit.
I feel like, oh my God, George is very like obviously old money we've discussed. So I feel like he'd pull up also and very like
George and Carmen at the Met.
George and I would love to see
Oh,
Alex at the Met.
Alex and Lily. I think they
Alex
would
and Lily.
actually eat it up. I
They
think
would eat it.
Lily would force Alex.
Yeah, and
Like,
it'll be good too. Lance doesn't have someone to force him into the pit.
you know what? Next year, let's have a Formula One themed Met Gala, and then all the drivers have to go.
There you go.
um, that's kind
I
of
did
all
have
the.
one
Oh, you have
other
one more?
question actually. Yeah. So we see, Danny at the Met, we see Charles making music. So if the drivers had to have other professions besides skirting, what professions would you give them? Or what profession would they have and actually be good at and why?
Oh my gosh, that's a really
You can
good
give
question.
a few. Not everyone on the lineup, but
I'm trying to think of who gives. I'm sorry, Daniel Ricciardo gives such history teacher energy.
yeah,
He's such a history
yeah,
teacher.
yeah, yeah,
I feel like um Valtteri just would have been a cyclist.
yeah, yeah.
Lando would have been actually everything. He's a photographer, he's a DJ, we already know. I really don't know. I don't
I
know.
think he'd be like DJ club promoter.
Club promoter.
Yeah.
That is kind of an insult, but
That's what it was supposed to be.
oh my god, the Lando fans are gonna actually have your head.
Uh, take it.
Lewis, I really can't figure out what he would be. I feel like he gives such artist vibes.
I would say like movie star. I feel like freaking Top
Hmm.
Gun, like any big, I feel like I've seen Fast and Furious, Mission Impossible, all those.
He's the Tom Cruise.
He's yeah, Tom Cruise.
Not in anything other than profession. I just mean as in perform his own stunts, not the whole Church of Scientology thing.
Oh, I didn't connect those dots until right now.
I can't think of what Carlos would do. I literally cannot think of what Carlos would. Oh my gosh, you're so right.
Yeah.
Carlos is it's a Libra rising. If you guys haven't watched our astrology episode yet, you should go watch.
Everything makes sense.
Everything is right in the world once you understand all the drivers' birth charts. It's actually crazy. I was talking to someone about George Russell, and they were like, I just feel like he has no personality. And I was like, he's an Aquarius. This man's a robot. Respectfully, I'm an Aquarius too. So that's kind of why. And they were like, I don't believe in astrology. And I'm like, well, you literally just proved it right. Like, you literally said George Russell's a robot, but then it refused my theory. That proved you right. Whatever. Men.
Whatever. Get out of here. So, shall we move on to this race weekend?
Kind of boring, but yeah, let's talk about the boring stuff.
At free practice, Yuki bumped into the barrier at turn 3. Homie got a puncture in the right rear of his car.
Honestly, the biggest thing that I remember from FP1 is Pierre's car literally barbecuing.
Yeah, yep.
All that smoke coming out of the top. I was like,
said he was set aflame. Red flags because he was set aflame.
He was giving science experiment. It looked like a science experiment. It was actually crazy. Honestly, I kind of like hated the layout of this weekend like so bad.
Okay, insert that meme of that white lady looking confused with all the math numbers in front of her. Me with the sprint. Me trying to figure out the new sprint rules. Me.
Honestly, I don't even think the teams understood. I remember like Ferrari posted like the sprint schedule and they posted the wrong schedule. Of course, it's so Ferrari of them. Of course they did that.
Very Ferrari.
But I don't know. I feel like FP1 wasn't that eventful. We only got one practice session.
Yeah.
Kevin stopped on track because of a fuel pump issue.
Yeah, that was right at turn 1 too. Homie didn't make it that far.
It's unfortunate. I don't really think anything was that memorable from FP1.
I only have those 3 points about Yuki, Pierre, and Kevin. So
and we ended up at the top of the session. We had Max, Charles, and Checo.
Yeah.
We were so happy to see Charles back in the top 3. My goodness, that was so great. I was so happy to see that. Please, I'm praying to the Ferrari gods. Actually, I'm not praying to the Ferrari gods. They clearly don't listen. I'm praying to any higher being there is. Because I just want to see Charles winning again. And Carlos. But Carlos wasn't that confident this weekend. I feel like he repeated like a lot of the times throughout the weekend that like he wasn't as confident with the car that weekend. And it affected his performance. And I kind of like want to know why.
I'm going to send you confidence from my big ego down to you.
Sending good vibes to Carlos.
Yeah.
Someone needs to get the Ferrari boys an evil eye. I'm not even joking.
I feel like they need couples therapy. I think every team, new segment, F1 TV, both drivers go into couple therapy with a couples therapist. Go.
Honestly, drivers go to couples therapy and the teams have to go to family therapy.
Oh, the team principals especially.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. And then every other driver just needs to go to anger management classes. Anyways.
Qualifying.
Q1 was red flagged twice.
Most of my notes, by most I mean all of my notes on Q1. First with my homies out spinning. Whenever I see anything happening to that man, my anxiety spikes.
Because your heart drops to your ass.
Literally. I panic when I see anything happen to him. The red flags from homie Nick, Mr. Nick DeVries, turn 3. We locked up and went straight into the barriers, and then it was red flag.
I don't want to say this because I don't want to get canceled, but I'm just gonna say it's not my words because they're not. But I saw this on Twitter and I did giggle.
Oh my god! Okay,
someone was like, I can't believe Nick DeVries, the appendix merchant, is on track instead of Liam Lawson. They called him an appendix merchant. That actually made me giggle so hard. I don't know how people come up with this stuff. I don't know how people come up with it.
Y'all are creative. Y'all are funny.
Um,
Y'all got some issues as well.
y'all got some issues for real.
Uh,
Pierre crashed
yeah.
after the team spent so much time fixing his car after FP1. They got it out in time for qualifying that same day after it got barbecued, and he crashed it.
First in flames and then in pieces. That's how
Unfortunate.
Pierre Gassi will leave you.
First in flames and in pieces. That is actually kind of bars, and we need that on a t-shirt.
So send it our way.
In Q-
That's
in
all I
Q3.
have.
In
Yeah.
Q3, oh my gosh, Allicea. Charles literally matched Max's time.
Yeah.
0 0 0 0 0. Exactly the same. But Max at the time first, so Max got to keep the position, and I was like so heartbroken because I was like, oh my gosh, we could have had Charles on pole and whatever. Like he said it after. Well, Charles was like, you know what? I'm gonna enter my reputation era because I need that pole. And he got fastest time in Q1, I'm in Q3, and he got pole, which is great. I
I
feel like
needed that
Max is
mentally.
only happy when it's Charles beating him. Like the pictures, Max looked so happy.
Until the sprint.
First of all,
Until the sprint.
the sprint qualifying was actually, I feel like this is such a stupid layout. Like you go for like this like shootout, like rapid, like fire kind of like lap
Yeah.
scenario. Why did I say scenario? Who possessed me?
Fancy bitch. It was the queen. It was the British people again.
And the funny thing is I actually have no British lineage in my blood at all. I'm
Oh
actually
my
100%
god.
brown.
Yeah, because we mentioned it on the podcast before.
Oh yeah, I don't know if any of you remember I got a DNA test because my parents thought we were part white because of the way we look and our last names.
It came
And
back and said bad bitch on it.
I'm actually 100% that bitch, and by that bitch I mean brown. No colonizer blood in me. Sorry,
But
George.
woo.
Um
But doesn't mean no colonizers can be in her.
I can't believe you just said that.
Cut that out. Cut that out.
We're not cutting it out. I'm keeping it in so you can think about what you said.
No.
Um
Spaniards or British, let us know.
Spaniards or British?
Looking at you, Carlos.
No, Spaniards or Italian, Monegasque. Well, Monegasque people aren't really colonized, and I don't know if Italians are, but I'm just saying white. Anyways,
Anywho,
let's not be too thirsty on this podcast. We have to like stay mysterious.
I was like, when have we ever been mysterious? But anywho, the sprint really be like, you want to see some real speed, bitch. That's what the sprint is. That's all this. That's the tagline. You want to see some real speed.
That should be. And tomorrow we'll be doing the sprint. You want to see some real speed? Tomorrow we'll be seeing some real speed at the sprint. Oh, Will Buxton would say that.
See.
Just going back to the quali quickly before we go into the sprint race.
Oh.
Charles got pole, but then he crashed. And then he parked up at the P1 position with a broken wing. And I think that's kind of iconic.
When you show up to the event that you don't even want to be at, when you show up tired but ready to party.
When you're broken, bruised, and want to die, but you still show up. And we love that. We love the commitment. But let's get into the sprint. What do you have to say about the sprint?
I'm just going to cut right to the chase. Seeing that video from the F1 Instagram of Max confronting George is so funny to me because it's filmed like a drama account TMZ video because he's like from the side and he's like moving in and it's like we all have no grip. We all have no grip, as Max said. But we all have no grip. I just thought that was so funny because the way they filmed it and the way they posted it, I like looked to see what account posted it, and when I saw that it was just F1, I'm like, why is this filmed like a drama account? This is TMZ.
The person who was operating the camera, their rent was due. They were like, I'm gonna get this shot, and first they panned from like the like ripped up air. Why I almost say AirPod, the side pod. Oh my gosh, I'm actually gonna get canceled by the F1 fanboys. The torn up side pod. And then zooming up from that and then focusing on to George and Max arguing and the way they zoomed in on their face, it was giving. I kicked it by mistake. I kicked it by mistake. Yeah. Pooja, what is this behavior? That's what it was giving. That's exactly. It was the exact same layout. We all have no grip, mate. We all have no. Pooja, what is this behavior? I kicked it by mistake. I kicked it by mistake. That's what it was giving.
Oh, oh my god.
Oh my gosh. And the fact that George just walked away.
He's like, and then it's what's funny is that Max went back to arguing again when he left. He's like, next time I'm hoping for some more respect. It reminds me of when like your parents were like, I'm done arguing, but then they continue to
No,
argue.
Max said expect the same next
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
I was like,
yeah.
I cannot believe you just said that on live television.
Kama is my boyfriend.
Listen, I actually like have been a Max defender. Like I have nothing against him. I have everything against Red Bull, nothing against Max. But this
Everything against
behavior,
Christian.
that part, this behavior actually scared me.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
and then after the interviews afterwards, him calling him Princess George.
Watch your ass in Miami, George. Don't be
Oh
shaking
my
it on a
gosh.
yacht because Max is coming for you. I'm a little scared.
I
Carmen,
don't-
take out that life insurance because I don't know what Max is gonna be doing in Miami. I'm gonna be honest.
Oh my gosh, that is so funny. I don't think she needs life insurance. This girl is set. She's a finance girly. We
Right.
respect her.
She's
But honestly,
we love you, Carmen. We've always loved you.
Yeah. I sorry, I literally had glitched. My bad. Honestly, kind of unfortunate that Charles didn't win the sprint race, but whatever. It's fine.
You know, Charles saw a magical cat on the road.
Oh my gosh, I totally forgot about that. There was a cat, and we thought he said there was a cut. I literally heart attack. I thought the car was gonna blow up into pieces. But it was just a black cat, which honestly isn't much better because that's literally bad luck.
Yeah. The only other thing from the sprint is that Nick, you know, homie Nick, also crashed at turn 13, and then I think it was Yuki's right tire, just chilling on the track, like
yeah. I can't remember if it was a sprint or the race, but there was some like tea.
I think that's
that Nick crashed into Yuki.
Oh, was that the race or was that the sprint?
I don't
I thought
know.
it was the sprint.
I think it was a sprint.
Yeah.
Nick hit Yuki a little bit, and
Yeah.
Yuki mentioned it in an interview.
Oh.
And he referred to Nick as, oh, some guy. Some guy.
This would never happen with Pierre and Yuki. Oh my god.
I was so shocked. So I was like, Yuki.
It's giving McLaren beefing. It's giving Lando energy.
I don't know. It's just not to just assume stuff because we're outsiders, but how are Yuki and Nick vibing? I need this inside tea because all the media they've been doing together hasn't been seeming kind of like the same energy as him and Pierre, which we didn't expect. But
nothing can replace Papa Pierre.
Yukier. Nothing can replace them. But I just didn't expect rivalry like this.
Maybe it'll be enemies to lovers, eh?
I just think Drive to Survive is gonna take this into like crazy. It's just gonna
so much has happened that Drive to Survive is gonna be like, especially with that clip of Max and George. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
You know in Indian dramas where like the villain comes on and it's like all the zooming in on everyone's face. They're gonna be doing that with Max every 2 minutes.
It's wrapped up in the curtain and it's like
yeah. Literally that.
Let's get into the main event.
Not gonna lie, Shadi, I have a total of 5 bullet points.
Okay. That's so slay. It was a boring race anyways. I'm so sorry if this isn't the content everyone wants. We're like, this race so boring. We hate it here. But we're an F1 podcast. We don't actually hate the sport. It was a boring race, and I think we can all agree on that.
We can say that. And I'm sorry. Yeah.
What do you have to say, Allicea? Let me hear it. Hit me with it.
The first thing I just have is like a lot of things with the pits. We were in the pits a lot. We got drivers making like 3 stops in the pits during this race. A lot of pity time.
Honestly, we had a lot of drivers not pitting. Like Lando pitted for all of them. Lando was like, you know what? I'll pit for all of you. I'm pretty sure he pitted like 3 to 4 times.
Yeah, no, I remember reading. Oh, who was it? I think it was Valtteri, Oscar, and Zhao, maybe. I'm not too sure. Pitted like 3 times the entire race, and I was like, damn.
I just don't know what's going on with these teams. Why are we pitting so many times? But it is Baku. I don't know if the tires were. I feel like I read something and I just didn't absorb any of it because life's been hard, guys.
It's been hard. You know how long it took Ash and I to get to this call today?
Oh my gosh, guys. Let's not talk about it. I don't think the viewers want to hear about that.
If you want to turn to a Slice of Life podcast, let us know. But the first thing I have down, lap 4, Alex and Oscar made contact coming into turn 2. And then Alex's wing got damaged.
It's the way I actually don't remember this. It was 7 a.m. It's 7 a.m.
Am I thinking of a different race or
No, I think you're right.
Okay.
I just literally can't remember it because why is it 7 a.m?
Yeah. 7 a.m.
You know exactly what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
It's 7 a.m.
Apparently the track temperature was really hot. It was the hottest all time of that weekend. It was 45.
Oh Jesus, that poor cat.
Exactly. That wasn't that day, so I think the cat's okay.
Oh, okay, good.
But it was 45 degrees on race day, which for American viewers is 113 degrees.
The fact that you were able to do that is really hot. The fact that
I actually did search it. I did not do that in my brain, but I'm gonna pretend I did actually just expose myself.
Okay, cut it out. We'll edit it. You'll edit it.
But honestly, I just think it was disappointing. Like, I know everyone's like, oh, but no one was complaining when there was Mercedes domination. First of all, I wasn't here when there was Mercedes domination, but I can guarantee you that I would have been bored. I don't care which team I support. If I was a Ferrari fan and we were dominating, I don't think I would enjoy that.
Right. I mean, next thing I have is in lap 10. Max went in the pit to change his tires, exiting at 3rd, losing the lead. And then as Nick was having his retirement because of the yellow flags, because of he had chipped the inside wall again at turn 5 and stopped at like turn 6. And yeah.
Honestly, it was so unfortunate that Max and Lewis pitted right before the safety car. I know they can't predict that, but that sucked.
Unless they can.
When I gaze into the future. Kind of going back to the start. Sorry, I totally missed this point. Charles was leading for a bit, but the fact that Max took the lead by like actually lap 3, this man's insane.
Yeah.
3 laps in, he took the lead. And Checo also took over Charles really easily because there is just no competition against the Red Bull with DRS on that straight.
Literally, it was at turn 3 where they gave Max's DRS and he said zoom. I saw a video of people at the race, and it was like the real difference between the Red Bulls and Charles, and I was sitting there for what felt like a millennia, and then the Ferrari goes by and I'm like, this is embarrassing. So I'm a little embarrassed.
I think the gap was like 16 or 17 seconds.
17 seconds. I have it written down at 17 seconds. And I'm like, in Formula 1, that's 8 hours. That's crazy.
That is actually 4 business days.
Literally, that's like not even standard shipping. That's less than standard shipping.
That's like we're shipping it on a boat. We're literally shipping it on a boat.
And by boat, they mean a canoe paddled by duck. It's like not an actual. It's crazy.
Paddled by ducks?
Yeah, it's a duck paddling. I don't know where that thought came from, please.
Honestly, I love that.
Don't let me speak anymore.
I love when you express your intrusive thoughts. Great not intrusive.
No, they're intrusive. They're intrusive.
I don't know what was going on with Pierre. This man was at the back of the grid like the entire time. I didn't see anything about him. I really wanted to like know what was going on, but there was like no coverage on him at all.
Just how we like it. Don't cover up Pierre. Get it? What? No coverage. No coverage. Sorry, I'm in my thirsty era.
You're in your dad joke era and your thirsty era.
The best eras.
Aston Martin working together as a team, their teamwork Lance being like, Fernando, I will not attack on the radio.
Yeah.
And someone was like, damn, this man gave himself team orders. I will
Yeah.
not attack Fernando. But Fernando was giving Lance advice about, I think it was the setting of his brakes or the setup of his brakes. And he was like, oh, like tell Lance to like change it to like what I did, blah, blah. And
Mama
literally
y
like,
papa.
Mama y papa. And he apparently like right after Fernando said that, Lance like almost went off.
Yeah.
Not like went off like like went off like the track.
Sorry, you're gonna have to edit that quieter later. That was that was good. I cackled.
But everyone was like, oh, this was a plan, because he literally told Lance to fix his setup and it actually like sabotaged him. But I don't think you can change the setup of your car that fast, so I don't think that's what made him go off. But it was kind of a funny thought.
Yeah.
Again, Carl's.
I think that's like the second time you've done that, not this episode, and the other episode as well.
Every time I want to say Carlos and I'm thinking of Ferrari, I think of Carlos and Charles and I go Carls.
That's their ship name.
What is their ship name? Better than
yeah. It's Pukey.
Oh my god. It's actually so funny. I'm sorry. I literally lost my train of thought because that is so funny. Carlos sounded so stressed because he didn't seem comfortable with the car.
Right.
That's unfortunate. I'm so sorry, Carlos. Joe retired with an issue.
Yeah, he did at lap 39. It was a mechanical problem. And I was like, my king, I'll see you later. I'll see you in Miami.
Like Alfa Romeo has been nowhere. I don't think I've ever seen anyone speak about them. Nothing about them. I don't even think they've been within the points. It's just not a great time to be on Alfa Romeo.
But two of my favorite drivers are on that team. I love
our unbothered
kings. More men like that, please.
At the end, George did pit to take fastest lap from Charles. Rude.
Yeah.
But he did end up getting fastest lap, unfortunately. But Ocon and Nico literally did not pit until the end. But there was a situation when Ocon went to pit on actually the last lap. I think there is a rule that you have to pit once.
Right. Yeah, there is.
So that's why he had to like pit on the last lap. And the pit situation.
I wrote it down.
Do you have it printed out, Allicea?
I have it on my iPad where I was drawing little eyeballs as well. They look like deviled eggs, kind of. But essentially, an incident occurred in the pits where the FIA appointed personnel, our favorite little FIA, they had photographers that were crossing in the pit lane to, get ready for the podium celebration. And essentially Esteban had to literally avoid, like freaking Mario Kart, like a game, avoid hitting photographers as they're like traveling up and down the pits. And it's kind of just like, the race isn't done. Yes, you want to be ready to start taking pictures when we get on the podium. Wait for the bloody race to finish so you know who goes up. Like, why are you having movement in the podium? Not the podium, sorry. Why are you having movement in the pits when the race isn't even done yet? You know that there are cars coming in. Why are you sending in? It's not even like, you're not even sending, it's not like a mechanic. It's a photographer. Someone that doesn't deal necessarily in the pits.
Mm-hmm.
The vehicle understands what it's going to be like when a car comes. It's a photographer. Like,
I literally, first of all, I saw another angle and they were actually setting up, like they were trying to close the pit lane. Everyone had not taken the checkered flag yet, and they were trying to close off the pit lane with like one of those like barriers. And I would just like ask why. If everyone has not taken the checkered flag yet, why are you like finishing the race? Like, why are you setting up?
We out.
Like, I tell you when we're done, and we're done.
Oh my god, teachers when they're like, I dismiss you, not the bell.
Oh my gosh. But it was just, I cannot like even imagine how Ocon felt in that situation.
Yeah.
Like, that seems so scary. I'm so glad no one got hurt, but I do think there needs to be some more like rule enforcement with media in the pit lane.
Yeah,
And
because this
it's like,
is the first time the drivers had to
exactly.
avoid almost hit with
Daniel.
photographers. That's the first one that comes to mind, especially with the added with Drive to Survive and like all them homies. And it's like, Jesus Christ, like please, like because like now Spawn's focus is what? It's not getting it out of the pit to finish the race. It's like, oh, am I gonna hit someone while I'm here? Like, why is that?
I just don't understand this clownery going on at the FIA. It's literally just a circus. That's kind of all I had to say about the race. In terms of the
That's my
results,
last point of the race. Slay, Checo, like
as
good
people
for
would call
you.
him, the king of the streets. The
Oh,
king of the streets who is for the streets.
he
I will not get
belongs
into
to the
that.
streets. He from the streets.
I don't want to get canceled by Checo fans. It's just a little jokey joke. It's just a little jokey joke. A little bit of a joke. Max, second place, Charles in third, and honestly,
17 seconds behind Max. Is
I
that
don't
really
care.
third place?
I don't care. I'm just happy to see Charles on that podium. It's been
happy.
a long time coming.
I feel like the season is really almost done. We haven't seen Charles on the podium.
It's actually been like 4 races, I'm pretty
I
sure.
know that break felt like a drought. I was dry.
The drought was the very worst.
What are you, the commenters? Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry, I had to drop those Taylor Swift references. When I said it's been a long time coming, I in my brain went, it's you and me. That's my whole world. They whisper in the hallway, she's a bad, bad girl. Anyways, it's just wired in my brain. And I know Fernando Alonso loves it because he's dating Taylor Swift.
Obviously. The new album's about him.
Honestly,
I have a new question to ask later, but let's wrap up the race and then we'll talk about it.
Charles not remembering the procedure of when you're going on the podium actually kind of made me giggle. Like this man has not been on the podium in so long that he sat in Checo's seat in the cool down room and then he offered the seat to Checo as if it wasn't Checo's seat to begin with.
He's like, oh my god, yeah, you're old, take a seat. Priority seating on the subway.
Yeah, you have kids, your joints are probably creaking, like here, take a seat. And then on the podium, he was standing on the P2 podium. And Max just accepted his fate and he stood on the P3 podium. Again, Max will never say anything to Charles. I'm sorry. The Verstappen agenda is real.
The Verstappen agenda? That's the only time, yeah. The Verstappen agenda. I agree. I love that. Better than Pukey.
Pukey? Your Pukey agenda, your Verstappen agenda, and not our Carl's agenda. Nando, what I should stop calling him that. People are gonna think I'm saying Lando. Fernando Alonso was in P4 and broke his P3 streak, which is like so unfortunate. Yeah. But I believe in a comeback. I believe he can make it back on the podium, and hopefully a podium with him and Charles and Lance, because I'm delusional.
I want that green, red, green. You already
I want that Christmas podium.
I want that. What's my favorite season? Christmas. I want that Christmas podium.
Lewis was in P6. Yeah. Kind of a good result for Mercedes, I guess, especially with how it's been going lately. But Lance was down in P7. I was kind of surprised.
That was a little upsetting for me because I was like, wow, we were doing so well. Not that, like, at least we're still in the points. But then again, like, I would like to see him like P5 or higher, because I know he can.
I agree. P4. A good P4.
A good P4.
I saw this like post by some like F1 account, and it was like, Lance Stroll's like friends and stuff say that he doesn't work hard enough, about how he's like lazy. And I was like, this is like kind of messed up.
His friends?
I don't know if it was his friends. I can't 100%
Those people are using you for your money, Lance.
I don't understand why the people feel the need to say this kind of stuff. Like, what is it? How does it like make your life better? Does it make you feel better that you're not on a team that your daddy bought you because your dad doesn't love you enough?
Your daddy don't love you.
I'm just like confused. I like will defend Lance until my last breath. I understand that people don't like him. I get it. But you don't have to be so public with your hatred. as we say, as we're public with our hatred, I'm so sorry. Is this like kind of hypocritical of us?
That's what I was like. I'm like, I don't know
Honestly,
how to say much.
I don't know. I feel like I like make an effort not to hate on people because like at the end of the day, they're more successful than I am. Like, who am I to say anything about them?
I know nothing besides what the media manipulates me to understand about
Exactly.
them.
Exactly. That is so factual. We don't know anything about these people except for what we're told from an outside perspective. We can have opinions, but we can't just believe they're correct. Like, we don't
Those
actually know
outside
these people.
perspectives have agendas and biases.
You're
So
looking at them through a magnifying glass, but it's kind of blurry because you actually cannot see into their lives.
I have bad eyesight anyway. So
I don't know. Just a
food
little.
for thought.
Just having a thought. Just
Yeah.
kind of just sick of people, but here we
I
are.
hate our era.
Just getting into our deep talk. This should be a segment on our podcast, Deep Talk with the nitty gritty. Getting into the deep nitty gritty. Getting deep into the nitty gritty.
Getting
Nittying the gritty.
Ooh. Ready to nitty my gritty off.
Literally ready to nitty my gritty off. Gritty my nitty. I don't remember what you said. I'm sorry. All words just don't seem like words anymore.
We're trying, guys.
Okay, time for our hot take of the episode.
Before that, actually, I had one follow-up question.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
So, we in Miami. I think bleep is gonna be crazy in Miami.
Bleep.
On the track, I was trying to say shit, but I bleeped it out for you so that you didn't have to bleep it.
It's okay, I can do it in post, don't worry.
It's because I forgot I wasn't supposed to swear, and then I swore a lot this episode. But anyway, we're in Miami. I think there's gonna be a lot of drama on and off track in Miami for some reason. And I want to know, what predictions do you have? Like, who do you think you're gonna see leaks from shaking ass on a yacht? Who do you think we're gonna see leaks of in the club shaking ass, buying bottles? Like, whose ass besides Valtteri are we gonna see shaking ass on a yacht in Miami?
Whose ass besides Valtteri's?
That's top ass, and then there's everyone else.
He's Bottas.
Write that down.
I feel trademark it. Valtteri, I'm telling you, you need to trademark Bottas and start selling underwear. I don't know. I feel like Pierre is a partier, and so is Lando.
Yeah.
Pierre is a partier. I think him and Kika are gonna party their asses off together.
Yeah, Kika,
Lando,
post on the Instagram.
Oh my gosh, Kika's Instagram, literally love her. Lando, maybe we'll get into some tea. I feel like he's a big partier. He's a big DJ guy. He's friends with DJs. He's a club goer. We can maybe expect some tea there. I don't know. I feel like all the tea at Miami is going to be like the influencers. Like, I've seen a lot of tea recently about the Tarte trip going to the Miami Grand Prix. There has been some drama with Alex Earl going to the Grand Prix, and people are not taking it well about her being like, I'm going to like the F1. I don't know. I think it's like some big race. I didn't know what it was. And people are not happy. And I get it. I get why you're not happy. But at the end of the day, it's not the influencer's fault.
Yeah.
They're getting their check. Let's blame the brands. Why are the brands not making an effort to bring people who actually understand the sport? But people in her comments are like, oh my gosh, like, you need to like get with Charles for the girlies, and like you guys would be so cute together. And I'm like, this is a little bit weird. This is the weird part. Like, I don't care if you're going to the race because it's kind of a brand thing, and you don't have control over where you get sent, really, because you're just doing it for the money, really.
Yeah.
But that's kind of weird. I don't know. I know we all joke about it, but like,
I don't know.
I feel like it's different when you're actually going, like it's kind of a joke when you're like talking about it from afar, but like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like a lot of influencer stuff, maybe we'll see some drama with some like influencer and one of the drivers. Who do you think is a driver most likely to get caught up with an influencer?
Well, let's see. Who's single? Lando.
I think
Lando.
Lance.
Oh yeah, Lance. And sorry, because I'm
think...
in my America brain, so I'm like, save Lance for Canada. No, Lance, Lando. I feel like we're gonna see some footage of like Lewis at a club.
Really? I actually haven't seen a lot of footage of Lewis at a
I
club
just
recently.
remember one, I think it was a Mercedes party. Because I remember
Mm.
Angela being there and it's just Lewis holding a champagne bottle, I think. It was like um
I
me going
don't
down
know.
the grid. I think we'll get I'm trying to think. I think
Logan. Oh my gosh, well, Logan. This is a home race.
Miss
Favorite
proud to
to
be
be
an
an American.
American.
Um,
Salute. I want Logan Sargent. I want there to be crazy footage of you shaking ass on a yacht, okay? If you ain't giving your soul to Miami, then what are you doing? This is
it
America.
is your patriotic duty,
To
Logan,
shake ass on a yacht.
in Miami. It is your patriotic duty, and we need you to represent your home state.
Yeah,
If it's blackout or back out. Like you blackout or
wow.
back out. Like
Wow.
you need to be partying your ass off. I don't care what your result is. It is your home race and you need to bring the party.
Exactly. Exactly.
Exactly.
And with that, my hot take being, this is Logan's week. This is Logan's weekend. Everyone else, sit down, shut up. This is for America. This is America's weekend. America. America.
no talk of kilometers. What the hell is a kilometer?
What's a
We're not talking
kilometer? Don't know. What's Celsius? I only know Fahrenheit.
knees weak, arms are heavy. This I actually don't remember the words. What are the words?
I swear I knew what you were saying,
But
but I don't know what the actual lyrics are.
I actually am so sorry. Logan's gonna be so disappointed as if he's gonna watch this, but um I'm sorry. I can't lose myself like you, Logan. Like it's just not a possibility for me. You have to be a true American to do that, and I'm just not a true American. New girl reference. I'm not a true American.
Oh my God.
Um
So many references there.
sorry, my hot take is why is Logan kind of this is my hot take. This has been my it's been a long time coming. Another Taylor Swift reference. There's just something about that man. And
Oh,
I don't know what it is. And I don't want to be rude when I say I think I need to seek help. Because I know nothing about him, so I can't perceive him. But sometimes there's this one specific picture of him when he went to New York.
insert picture. So
I do have it screenshotted in my camera roll and favorited, so I will put it.
you're like, I actually have it
Actually,
printed
the
out.
lock screen is a poster. I'm actually looking at every day before bed. No, I don't. I don't. It's just like I don't know. He just seems like such a carefree, just like gives no fucks guy. And I appreciate that. I appreciate a man that gives no fucks.
Exactly.
That's kind of my hot take. It's not really a hot take. I mean, it's a hot take. That man's hot. Anyways, um,
Anyways,
that's kind of it. Thank
I was,
you.
yeah, I was
Thank
forgetting how to
you.
wrap an episode. Our episode for Miami, we're picking our new posting schedule, but stay tuned. We will be filming our Miami episode next week. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for being patient with us once again as we settle back into this new setup. If you have any feedback about this episode's layout, please do let us know. We'd love to hear.
Slide into our DMs. Whether it's with feedback or no feedback, we love when you guys slide into our DMs.
About anything.
About anything.
Wink.
Even if you need to rant about how hot you think Logan Sargent is and you need to seek help for it, I am here for you. I'm here for you.
Ash is the Logan Sargent helpline, actually.
I dial 9 for the Logan Sargent helpline. Don't know why I picked 9. You should actually dial 2 because I'm pretty sure that's his racing number. Dial 2 for the Logan Sargent hotline. That's me. We will see you next week when we get into the nitty gritty.
Bye.